Fam, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? Today is Tuesday. It is July 9th. It is 7:34, and I hope you guys are having a good day. Max already wants it, man. We off at a calorie count. I am at 560 right now, so post what you're at. Get moving. Have an amazing day. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I hope you guys had a great Monday. I know my Monday was really busy, and those of you that joined me for the live stream last night when we streamed Madden, I took another L, right? It was my third loss, but the thing was, as I was down 21-0, stayed calm, came back, had an opportunity to either tie or win the game. We're in the red zone, and what do? I threw a costly pick, and that's how it ended. But I was just having fun with it. So feel good Tuesday. I was almost going to say feel good Friday, but we're a couple days away from Friday. It is Tuesday, and yesterday Alabama announced who is going to be at SEC Media Days. So let me tell you where I'm at, though, before we start, and let's everybody get checked in. Let me know where you're coming from inside the comment box so I can give some shout-outs before we get going on the show. All right, so I wake up this morning, and, you guys already know my whole routine. So I go out, and I have my pre-workout, I have my coffee, and I go to hit the garage door, and the garage door doesn't open. Okay, no problem. It happens. So I go and I hit, like, the emergency, like, garage door, right, pull. You pull it down, and then you could move your garage door. Well, that didn't work either. So the garage door is literally stuck down, right? So how did I get to my workout? So I had to call poor T and be like, I'm so sorry for waking you up. I need, the vehicle. So then I called the garage service place, and they can't come till Wednesday at 6 p.m. So, oh man, so all these little things are trying to, dictate my morning, but I'm just going to walk it off because it's not going to affect me. What's going to affect me is, from my workout and the positivity. So it's all good. Life happens and we move through it. Could be worse. Honestly, not big issues. All right, so SEC Media Days yesterday was announced what is happening. And before we get started with that, let me go ahead and give some shout-outs inside the comment box. Good morning to everybody that is joining us in the Undefeated. Max Tooney, what's up? Southern Red, I appreciate you being here. Doug, what's going on? Keith, Building Boy, what's up? I appreciate you being here. Chris Waltman, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us from Panama City. Building Boy, what's going on? Garrett Clemens, what's up? Bentley, what's going on? I appreciate you guys being here. My man Jarvis and Bone, what's going on? Eric Taylor, Chance Eaton up in the chat. Eric Taylor, what's going on? Jamarcus Thomas, what's up? John, what's going up? And Larry Williams, what's up? No way, Keith is coming to us from Tularosa, New Mexico. Man, Keith, I didn't know you were in New Mexico, man. What you need to do is drive to Alamogordo, right? What is that, a short, like, 10-minute drive, if that? And you're able to go to Allsup's Burrito, all right? So, Keith, go to Allsup's, get us some burritos, send one to me virtually so I can have them. Don't forget the Allsup sauce. What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you guys being here. Okay, so SEC Media Days, I already predicted this. I knew exactly who was going to come to SEC Media Days. Why wouldn't it be? And Tobias is coming to us from Germany. I appreciate you. Whether you're in Tularosa, New Mexico, or whether you're in Germany, all good. Alabama football is what we talk here, so roll tide to you. Okay, so we knew that it was going to be Malachi Moore, Tyler Booker, and Jalen Milroe. These three exemplify leadership and everything that goes along with, Alabama football. You add on Coach Kalen DeBoer, right? But the overall brand and the overall leaders are the same from last year. These guys are just older, more mature. You guys saw all the interviews with Tyler Booker last year. He did some on the next round. He did an amazing job. Same thing with Terran Arnold. I think Milroe will probably be the next one if I had to guess. Malachi Moore, let's talk about each of these individuals real quick. So Alabama will be at the podium on July 17th. Okay, that's a long ways away. We're going to have Big 12 Media Days in between that. In fact, Kyle Whittingham of Utah, who is predicted to win the Big 12, he'll be at the podium today, along with several other coaches. So don't be surprised if you see me upload a couple press conferences from around college football. It's just, it's a light time. We'll talk about them. I might slice them up. I might give my feedback. So that's kind of what to come. You will have Coach Prime on July 10th, which is Wednesday. He'll be at the podium as well. So right now, this is Big 12 Media Day. They're first out the gates. And then following that, we will jump into Big 10 Media Days, SEC Media Days, and ACC Media Days. ACC will be on the back end of July, and then next week you get Big 10 and SEC. So there'll be a lot of coverage on Bama Football on YouTube. We will bring that to you right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Cody, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. Thank you very much for being here. No, you know what? People are asking me if I'm going to SEC Media Days. Truth be told, I'm not able to afford it this year. So hopefully next year, depending on if it's in Birmingham, you got to figure in the prices. Staying in Dallas, traveling, and honestly, I figured when I took a really big hit when I went out to the Rose Bowl. Thankfully, we had a really good January and February, but man, it was so expensive to go across the country to the Rose Bowl because the internet is always terrible at these events. And there'd be guys who just stayed home who would just kill it, just talking about the news. So I had to make a decision. It just kind of didn't make sense for me financially to go out to, media days. But, there's so many people doing the same exact stuff. So I'm always trying to do different things to kind of stay ahead of the curve because, if you don't adapt, then you die. And as you've seen, there's a million different Alabama football channels, which I think you should all support. But, I'm hard-pressed that I think that even the major channels are Alabama pushers, right? I think that they're all geared towards Alabama football because that is what drives the needle, right? So I have to continue to just kind of focus in on what I'm doing. But I'd be hard-pressed if 24/7 Sports or On3, they can't wait to do an Alabama video. 100%. Go watch your channel. I mean, every third video is about Kalen DeBoer and the new offense. I mean, that's just how it is. But if I ever get out that way in the future, I hit you guys up. But right now, I'm just kind of tunnel visioned and, got to make it to my football months. I kind of operate like a small business. Got to, make it to August to December is, where things go for me. So I'm not surprised to see Malachi Moore, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Booker at the podium. These guys are amazing individuals. Each will be in the NFL. And Tyler Booker is a class act. The guy is ultra intelligent. I feel yesterday, and I said it yesterday, I feel that Alabama has the best combo at the guard position with Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts. I mean, those guys are absolutely going to feast this year. Jalen Milroe, I think he probably wins the Heisman Trophy and leads this team as far as it can go. And Malachi Moore, you can't forget about him, the lone returner in that secondary, played in over 500 snaps last year. And it's amazing to see kind of him and his family, right? They are from Alabama. I think his brother is a walk-on as well. The guy's a baller. I mean, so many times you think about, the journey of their careers. It feels like he's been here for a long time, which he has. But there was a time where he was beat out. Let's call it what it was, by Brian Branch, right? He didn't complain. He didn't hit the transfer portal. You didn't hear anything from him. He was just on the team because he had a really good, freshman or sophomore season. And then Brian Branch went crazy. And then now, he had a really big year last year, and this year I think he'll do the same thing. I saw in NCAA football, what is his rating, like a 95 or something like that? So Malachi Moore, absolute baller, and just a quality individual. I think him and Devontae Smith, those are like people that you hope that your kids grow up to be like. Just great individuals, great people. Same thing with Jalen Milroe and Tyler Booker. And, of course, throw in Coach Kalen DeBoer, my goodness, the most genuine person, the most genuine football coach who doesn't even cuss. Is on their way as well. 78 watching. I appreciate you guys hitting the thumbs up. Super chats, or if you guys want to become a fan funder of Bama football on YouTube, I appreciate it. It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Kalen DeBoer handles SEC Media Days, right, as opposed to Coach Saban. Because Coach Saban, I mean, when it's here in Hoover, everything is geared towards Alabama football. When I was in Nashville last year, everything was geared to Georgia. This year, I don't know if everything will be geared to, Texas or Oklahoma because they're new into the SEC. I don't know. But I think, it'll be interesting to see kind of his personality. And I think I haven't seen it so far. He seems like he's really nice in everything that he says, right? He's just like, he's a great person. He's nice. But is he funny, right? Coach Saban was funny. Like, you loved his jokes. Like, he had wisdom, but he also had humor. That's why I think, like, when you watch Coach Saban, you could really sit there and just enjoy it because, either he was going to go off on a reporter. I guarantee you he would. Coach Kalen DeBoer, I think he's too nice. I don't think he's going to ever go off on a reporter, right? I mean, you saw even for the scrimmage, he kind of joked with the reporters, but he's not at that point. He's got to be honeymoon still, right? And you got to earn that what Coach Saban had. And because Coach Saban had, exactly, Jarvis, kind of that witty humor. So I don't know if he's funny, but I'm going to miss that about Coach Saban because as soon as Coach Saban hit the podium, everybody was like popcorn. Something is going to bang. I'm curious to see if, Coach Kalen DeBoer has that. What's up, Chris? I see you inside the comment box. Good morning. I appreciate you guys being here. Here's what we're talking about today. SEC Media Days, kind of the lineup what is coming to Dallas. That'll be Jalen Milroe, Malachi Moore, and Tyler Booker. I want to talk about this before I start talking about kind of looking at the wide receiver in the offensive line room. Michael Carroll is a new 5-star. So let's talk about these star rankings. So yesterday, Keelan Russell was not elevated to 5-star status on 3. I think he was elevated on 24/7. Let's first talk about Michael Carroll. First of all, Michael Carroll, I think, is one of the top 15 offensive linemen in the country now, 5-star. I'm not surprised to see it. I saw that he was ultra athletic, ultra talented, and I think I even misspoke before saying that he was higher rated than Jackson Lloyd. I said that before he was even higher rated just because I saw his film. The guy's outstanding. So interior offensive lineman out of Pennsylvania that I think is going to be a monumental add to Alabama. So Keelan Russell remains a 4-star. Time to freak out? No, not at all. I mean, these rankings, number one, in the grand scheme of things, the rankings really don't mean anything because once they get to, Alabama or wherever their destination is, they're 0 stars. With that said, I like the rankings, honestly. I like to look like which players are going where. Keelan Russell will be a 5-star. I don't know why he's not a 5-star right now on 3, but I think when the rankings are over, because they update them periodically. I think, in my opinion, and this isn't like being Bama fansy, I think what Keelan Russell has done up to this point, considering what he did within the last 2 months, camping, going out and winning these awards, I think that was valid enough for him to be a 5-star. I don't know what held him back. I didn't see Charles Powers, who does the rankings for On 3. I don't know what he had to say about it, but I'm sure at the end of the day, he's not going to get a Bama bump, but he would probably be a 5-star in my opinion. He's a 5-star on 24/7, whatever it is. I think it's fine. The world is not going to cave in because he is not a 5-star right now. I think in time he's going to be a 5-star. So currently Alabama has 2 5-stars on its recruiting class from 2025, which is Dejon Lee and Michael Carroll, and I think more will come. Jarvis saying a little bit of Bama fatigue. I don't know. I think that in the end, I think On3 will have 30 5-stars. Currently, what do they have, like 15 or 20 or something like that? So in due time, he will be a new 5-star. So just be patient on that. Turbo Rogers Flip Watch. So like I said, most of this information is now free. You used to have to pay for this information. Steve Whitfong, who works for On3, really the best in the business. Like, he is the guy that knows everything. Ryan, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Good morning to the undefeated. Jeremy, what's going on? I appreciate you being here. Same thing with Cody and Jarvis. C-Bama, what's going on? I appreciate you. Jamarcus, man, what's going on? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So with Turbo Rogers, this was the update that Steve Whitfong gave yesterday. And he said that he has Turbo Rogers, Anthony Rogers, who is now playing back at Harvard, running back in Montgomery, who is from the IMG Academy. He said he has him on Flip Watch as, a guy who could maybe flip from Alabama to Ohio State. Does this come as a surprise? I don't know. He's been up to Ohio State, went up to Columbus. He's from the IMG Academy. And look, and I think he is an ultra-talented running back. I really do. But I think that, you have A.K. Deer, and I don't know why he hasn't committed just yet. Kind of like, what's the holdup on that? But I think you could just be swapping one really good running back for another. I don't know which running back is better than the other, but I think they're ultra talented. So kind of wondering like what's going on with A.K. Deer ever since he did decommit from Ole Miss, and still kind of watching Turbo Rogers. He's been quiet, right? I haven't even seen really interviews or him really active on social media, which I actually like. I like when the guys are kind of like low key. That's why I did a video the other day of Robbie Oots, right? The guy never says anything. The only thing that he said was like, let's get back to work. And they got back to work. So we'll just continue to keep you guys updated on Turbo Rogers, and if he does, become a closer guy, or if you start to see some predictions of him to like flipping to Ohio State. Guys who are on commitment watch, still the same guys we've been talking about: Caleb Cunningham, Ty Haywood. I think that Derek Meadows could be probably a name to watch. He's the big wide receiver out of Bishop Gorman. Looks like maybe the boat might have sailed on Travis Smith. So I guess we'll have to see that. Ivan Taylor, you saw him, the safety out of Florida, flip from Notre Dame to Michigan. I could even see him flipping another point in time. Kenneth, I just talked about that. I don't know why Turbo would want to leave. Like, in-state guy, I think you'd fit in with this running back room quite nicely. Maybe, who knows? If I'm Robert Gillespie, I'm reaching out to him. I'm still actively recruiting the hell out of him because I think he's a quality player, and I love the in-state guys. I really do. I think, and who knows what's going to happen with Naheem Oford. I haven't seen any real updates on that, but I don't think that recruiting battle is over, in my opinion. Okay, I've been cooking up a couple different graphics. I'll go full screen on this so you guys can see. If I have any omissions within these graphics, just let me know inside the comment box. I'm the one who does all of the graphics here, so I'm responsible for the spelling, the names. I spend a lot of my day doing these graphics, and I put a lot into them. So if you see any omissions, let me know. So here's a look at the wide receiver room, and I'm building one out for every single position. It takes quite a bit of time to get like the pictures and the names and the spelling and the stats, so all that. So I appreciate you guys. Remember, free to watch, not free to produce. So thank you very much for supporting me on my journey to be a continued content creator right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So here's a snapshot at the receiver room. Okay, so you have Jeremy Bernard, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, Emmanuel Henderson. Those guys are all juniors. Jalen Hell's a sophomore. Cole Adams, Jaron Hamilton, Caleb Odom, Ryan Williams, Bubba Hampton, Rico Scott, Amari Jefferson. All of those guys are freshmen. To the right of this graphic, you see the 2023 stats, and those are the stats from Washington. Okay, so you got Jeremy Bernard, who caught for 419 yards and 2 touchdowns for Washington last season. Kobe Prentice caught for 314 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hell caught for 148 yards with 1 touchdown. To my surprise, when I was putting together these graphics, it was interesting to see that Kendrick Law only caught for 135 yards last season. Is that surprising to you? It's surprising to me. So I put together this graphic as well. And it kind of talks about the Bama wide receiver depth chart. And I actually really like this graphic. So I kind of split it out into the actual position that each of these players is predicted to play and through the tight end on the other side. Now, with this said, remember, just because a player is listed at an X, Z, or H doesn't mean that the player has to play in that particular position, because a lot of these players are interchangeable, being that they're versatile wide receivers and different packages, right? Like you could have two tight ends on the set. You could, there's of course goal line sets. So I kind of just listed it as odds and ends. So typically what you want your X wide receiver to be, and that is on Kendrick Law on the far left, is somebody who is big, physical, who can create mismatches way out on the outside. Right? And that plays the opposite of the Z position. The Z position is somebody that sometimes goes in motion, who can be very dynamic, and that is Jeremy Bernard. So underneath Kendrick Law, we'll start with him on the X. You have Emmanuel Henderson and Ryan Williams. Again, this is not set in stone. This is kind of just me putting out, a depth chart at this point. We're not even supposed to talk depth chart, right? But kind of just giving you a snapshot so you can kind of just see what to work with. Jeremy Bernard, and if you guys have feedback on this graphic, let me know inside the comment box and we can talk about it and I can make adjustments. Like we do this together. It's all good. Jeremy Bernard as the Z position, Caleb Odom and Jared Hamilton underneath him. Kobe Prentice is the H. So what the H is usually a slot type wide receiver, somebody who is shifty, somebody who, plays off the line, somebody who has really great hands. And I think Kobe Prentice is like the perfect H for college football. Same thing with like a Cole Adams or a Bubble Hampton. I think each of those guys is absolute ballers, right? The tight end position to the right, you have CJ Dupree, who will now be a senior. I believe that he played in over 500 snaps last season for Alabama, which was the most snaps of any tight end. And then you have Danny Lewis, Josh Cuevas, and Robbie Oot. So if you like that graphic and you think it makes sense, I appreciate hearing from you guys inside the comment box. But I mean, kind of there's a snapshot at Alabama's depth chart. And I think, you start with, Kendrick Law, Jeremy Bernard, and Kobe Prentice. Each of those guys are experienced players. And so is CJ Dupree, and so is Jalen Milroe. So right away, that tells me that the experience level, Jam Miller, right? He's got experience too. Justice Haynes, he's got experience too. I'm going to show you the offensive line. That's why Alabama's offense is going to be so much better than they were last season. Compounded on the fact that they have, I believe, better coaching on the offensive side this year within this three-pronged offensive coach attack. Nick Sheridan, Jamarcus Shepard, Kalen DeBoer, right? So you pair that with the experience and the vets and the overall playmaking ability, man, these guys are absolutely going to crush it, all right? So let's talk about the guys who are going to be protecting these guys, and this is the offensive line. Now, spent a lot of time on this graphic. In fact, when I was putting this to graphic and I was editing it, and then I had Caden, my son, he came in here and he was looking at the graphic as well. And he was like, well, where's Caden Proctor? And I was like, damn it, I didn't even add him. So late edition is Caden Proctor, but this is going to be interesting. So Caden Proctor last season played at number 74, right? But now Casey Poe has that number. So I don't know if you come in and you get number 74 back. C-Dub, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box talking some team real quick, but I will get back to you. I see you with the recruiting questions, so thank you so much. But I kind of put like in detail to the right, and that kind of lists out the players and then the offensive line by position. Matty P, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Rocket Town, man, what's going on? Thank you so much. So in detail, you can kind of see the size of the overall individuals. I mean, clearly Caden Proctor at the bottom and Geno Vandermark. I didn't list their numbers because I don't know what numbers those guys will be this coming season. I would imagine that Caden Proctor gets his number back, 74. I mean, he's 6'7", 360. No disrespect to Casey Poe, but he's 6'4", 290. That would be an interesting meeting between those two. All right, so then I was like, well, what does it look like on paper, right? Like, who could potentially be the starters? So then cooked up this other graphic last night. Look, this is just a snapshot of what things could look like, right? And look, like I even messed up. Do you see Welcome Formby? That's CJ Dupree. So I got to swap out the graphic. So I got to remind me inside the comment box to put Welcome Formby's graphic over CJ Dupree. But here's a snapshot of what the offensive line could look like for Alabama. So you have Caden Proctor, who I think will, and I even spelled Proctor wrong. So there's two edits. So Caden Proctor up at the left, I think he's going to be the left tackle, right, at the sophomore. And I think he will win the spot over Elijah Pritchett. But I'm curious to see if Elijah Pritchett could play on the right side at right tackle and create some, competition for that right tackle position with Welcome Formby. One more time, Welcome Formby is not pictured in that picture. That is CJ Dupree. 2 edits I have to make. I'm writing them down. Let me write them down real quick so I don't forget, and I can do that. So they're ready for the next show. Now, I apologize for that, but, it's how it goes sometimes. Caden, update last name, and then and then add welcome picture. All right, my bad. I'll fix it for the next show. But you have Tyler Booker, and I've talked about this before. Tyler Booker, at the left guard position, and Jaden Roberts, I think that is honestly the best tandem in college football. Parker Brailsford was a part of the Joe Moore Award team last year, and the guy did an incredible job. I don't know where, right, Chris? I don't know where Gino Vandermark is going to play on this team. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a backup guard. I don't know if he's going to be a backup center. You also probably have some competition in there with Rock Montgomery. Casey Poe is someone who, people are really excited about. Welcome for me. And then there's, McVay on the far right. So, God, you have just so much talent to work with in terms of that offensive line and how it could come together, for Alabama. Jarvis, are you talking about Vandermark being a backup center? Because, like the center position now, number one, I thought Terrence Ferguson would be the center this year before he transferred out to Florida State. I actually thought that he should have been probably the center over Seth last year. I have no idea what happened there, but I feel really good about that offensive line, right? Caden Proctor, Tyler Booker, Parker Brailsford, Jaden Roberts, and, Welcome Formby. The only guy who's kind of, who's young and, you could potentially have problems with is that right tackle position. Could that be a Pritchett, right? I don't know. You look to kind of the offensive lineman that Alabama has. Maybe Pritchett could be that guy. He's a redshirt sophomore. I think he was starting at one point in time. He's a big dude. Has experience, 6'6", 312 pounds. I don't know. I guess we'll have to. Is there anyone else that you guys think could potentially be the right tackle for Alabama? I don't know. Right? I asked this yesterday. I'll show it one more time. I might show it periodically because I think I can cycle through these graphics. But I talked about the running back room. So we talked about the quarterbacks a couple days ago. We talked about the wide receivers. We talked about the experience. But my continued questions about the running backs kind of revolve on how Coach Kalen DeBoer will use each Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. Will there be a designated starter, a starter based off package? Will either run for 1,000 yards? I asked you guys. Oh, I got to fix that too. I asked you guys, if Alabama will have 1,000-yard running back. And we can't sleep on Richard Young either, right? I feel that this is the best 1-2 combo in the country. The running back unit is the area of strength for Alabama. It's going to be – yesterday, look, everybody saw the graphics and the gameplay of NCAA football. Look, I get it. Michigan has some very talented running backs, but I can't even imagine playing the game with Justice Haynes and Jam Miller. And just wait till you play with Jalen Milroe. Man, that is going to be crazy. I can't wait for that. So the game drops. Has anyone downloaded this game? Are you able to download it? I'm not sure if you can download it yet, but the game comes out. I think it comes out the 15th. And if you saw last night, and I talked about this in the beginning. Last night I've been streaming in the evening sometimes. I think I've done it twice, and I've lost each time. I've lost 3 games. So I'm 0-3 on streaming. Had a chance to come back last night, threw an interception inside the red zone. That's how it goes. So, and Jarvis, you're right, man. Just so many weapons for Alabama. It's going to be amazing to see kind of how this team utilizes each of these players and who gets fed the most, right? There's a lot of dogs on this team. A lot of people are going to eat. This team is going to be absolutely dangerous on the offensive side. Southern Red, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is who I am, whether I'm on my show, whether I'm working out, whether I'm with my kids, whether I'm with the dogs, whether I'm, dealing with the garage door, whether I'm cooking. I love to cook. You can follow me on Instagram, Mr. Kyle Henderson. That's where I post a lot of my just like day-to-day kind of stuff. But, as we get cooking through the next couple of days, we got Big 12 Media Days today. So if you see a notification pop up, it's a coach about Utah. I'll kind of frame it in reference to college football. Same thing with Coach Prime tomorrow. Just trying to get, I'm literally just like you, just trying to get by, you know. Right now, I'm just like a month-to-month type dude, which is fine. It's good. I'm blessed with a lot of, you know, opportunities that I have and being able to be here. First practice will be July, I think, 31st. So the players will report on the 30th, and then 31st will be the first day of practice. So nice and hot, but all the practices will be in the morning, although, like, it doesn't matter if you're in the morning or the night here in Tuscaloosa. Like, it's just hot. I mean, we wake up, our workouts are super early in the morning, so they're not too bad, but I'm telling you, like, the humidity is unbelievable here right now. It's crazy, but just, you know, stay cold, stay summer. Billy's going to take the Raging Cajuns all the way. Good morning, Kyle. Not sure. D. Harsh, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Good morning, Kyle. Not sure either running back will go for a 1,000-yard rusher. Kalen has never really used that room to the fullest potential. Jalen will run for more than 500 yards this year. I can promise you that. Yeah, I'm on board with Jalen Milroe, you know, running for over 500. I buy that all day. I think last year, Coach Kalen DeBoer had a 1,000-yard rusher. Would he rush for like 1,200 yards, right? Dylan Johnson. I think, you know, these two running backs are better than him in kind of designing plays to be creative enough for each of these guys is going to probably be the challenge for Nick Sheridan. I personally don't think that Alabama will have a 1,000-yard running back. I hope the receipts are kept on that, and I hope, you know, we come back and be like, see, Kyle, you were wrong. I would like to have Alabama to have a 1,000-yard rusher. I think one of these running backs could do it, but I'm not going to be upset if, you know, Jam Miller has 700 and, you know, Justice Haynes has 770 and Richard Young has 200. You know, that running back room is going to eat absolutely, and keeping them fresh. I mean, this season we continue that what we are going to talk about is the season is going to be an absolute gauntlet. You're going to need all your running backs. You're going to need all your wide receivers, all your offensive line. You're going to need everybody. Right? This isn't just kind of the starters. I mean, this isn't going to be a boring season at all. Don't let these opening games against Western Kentucky and South Florida, like, those are important games. Like, be dialed in, show up, be intrigued with kind of the formations and how Alabama is going, you know, into each of these games. I mean, the rest of the schedule is murderous. Right? I know you kind of look to those games, you might be bored. You're like, oh, there's a Vandy game. No. Those are opportunities for this team to continue to fine-tune itself for the back end of that season. The back end of the season, Missouri, who was in the top 10, LSU, right? Tennessee, both those games on the road, going to Oklahoma. I don't care if you guys don't think Oklahoma's not going to be good. I think it's going to be a challenging environment to play in Norman in the back end of the season. Come back and play Auburn and Hugh Freeze. I mean, you got to fine-tune in all those games. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for my morning segment. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. As I've explained many different times, during the summer, my schedule is different in covering the team as it will be during the season. My shows will be longer, more in-depth. During the season, we will have player interviews, coach press conferences, things like that onto the channel. The summer is what the summer is. Plus, I got the two kids. I got I have my kids full time. So, doing parenting stuff as well. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Please turn on the notifications. If you guys want to check out, me battling on my Madden season, hit me up. I usually stream at like 8 p.m. Central Time, kind of when things have calmed down, when I know there's not going to be like a commit or when I've taken care of dinner and all of my I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, when am I going to play this game, right? Like now that, you get older in life, you're like, damn, like I can't just sit around and just play video games all day. Although, we'll do it a bunch, when it drops. So I appreciate you. I got to go figure out this garage door. I got to get my truck out. So literally what I'm doing right now is I'm hunting down, a garage door repairman. And it's more than just like pulling down your cord. Like it's like stuck. So, hey, if you're a garage door expert, let me know inside the comment box. I love you guys. From Caitlin, Chris, Greg, D. Harsh, Jarvis, everybody inside the Undefeated. If I didn't mention you, Southern Red, Maddie P, King David, Rocket Town, C-Dub, everybody. Kenneth, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me in my morning segment. I'll be back as news happens. Keep locked on right here to Bama Football on YouTube. And as I always say, go support all of the great Alabama content creators. They are doing an amazing job supporting themselves and giving you a quality product as well. So, big or small, support your people. They're doing a really great job. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Be blessed, enjoy life, be good people, and I'll catch up with you soon right here on